Hi. Good evening. Hi. I don't know the board yet, but do you want me to talk in the microphone? Okay. All right. Do I get my time back? Thank you. Okay. I'm ready. I go by Audit LA. That's my activist and media name. And I just want to say, coming here month after month, I want to give a special shout out to Jack and Coulter, and you too, Mr. President. I feel the three of you genuinely care, and I'm not saying anything about any of the rest, I just don't know you yet. But from just interacting, I feel that you guys genuinely care about the community for the right reasons. Not for power, not for any other reason, but for the genuine reasons. And I want to thank Jack for having put us on the agenda at your last committee meeting. And if it wasn't for Josh leaving, we would have maybe been able to get to a vote. We're trying to help this community get certain things done because there's certain abuses within the city system. And it's not that I'm not sitting here to attack Scientology today, but the abusiveness that they are doing with our city, with these endless permits, with them not having a fire lane open for emergency vehicles, even though we've had just 2 earthquakes, which have damaged their building considerably, and that without permit, they are repairing it. I have, and, you know, and, sorry. And it's been continuous, and there's been no help. And Jack did get us onto the agenda to at least say, hey, maybe we can look into it. But Josh, wherever you are, I don't know who Josh is in person. Is he here? He left and broke quorum, so we were not able to vote. And I'm very disappointed because the community is tired of it. They are being harassed by their guards. They are, it's an endless, since June 1st, cannot access, well, we can access, but not without harassment, because they are lying to the community saying that we do not have the public right to go through there. We do. Only cars are prevented. But now they're also doing construction work. They have a construction permit now along with these other permits. So we don't know one day if there's construction or is it a special event. We don't know. It's confusing. And then they have a large crack that's probably about 8 stories high in their smokestack. And and they have a closed fire lane, and they're not allowed. I don't see the city coming in to see what's going on to make sure they're doing it by permit, because we can't find any permits for the repairs. And we want you guys to get involved and help us figure it out. We want the fire lane open. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Can I respond?
This is
No, this is public comment, not public conversation.
All right. Henry, I'll allow you to speak.
Hey, Danny.
Good evening. Yes, hello. This is Henry Corrine. Are you able to hear me well?
Yes, we can.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you all being in quorum today and holding this event. For those that don't know, this is not my first time here, and I hail from the great state of New York. I will yet again be back in the great state of California protesting the one and only Scientology, which continues to terrorize Angelinos everywhere. I want to highlight a couple of events. Number one, an incident that occurred in your neighborhood, specifically on Fountain Avenue on June the 3rd at approximately 7 a.m. 2 companies, Mega Structural Inc. and National Ready Mix, tended to operate major construction without a permit, specifically to do foundation repair. And during this time, as I was out there peacefully protesting and exercising my First Amendment right, I confronted the construction workers and asked whether they had a permit to do the work. They said no, and these construction workers assaulted me as well as issued direct death threats by making a motion to slice my neck off, as well as another protester known as DOA, aka Scott Hocksetter. Now, this is going on in your own backyard, but that's not really the biggest issue per se. Death threats and assault is really just things that protesters who dare speak out against Scientology can really expect at this point, because there's not anything being done to actually hold them accountable. But that's not the biggest issue. The biggest issue is actually that one of the largest vendors that the city of LA is using to procure metals parts, so a giant metal fabricator known as Cody Building Supplies, actually has one of their owners under an investigation of alleged child molestation and rape of a 14-year-old. And this is also one of the biggest suppliers of metals materials to LA City. And I
One,
figured
two,
that
three. Time. That is time approaching. That's 2 minutes. Thank you.
Great job, Henry.
Okay, we go to Mona. I'll let you talk.
Hey, Mona.
Good evening, council members. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, you can.
Wonderful. Thank you for the time to speak in front of you. Even though we are remote, it always feels like we're at home, huh? So again, talking about Elgin and Hubbard Way, I want to reiterate just a little bit about the sidewalk closure and the road closure that's been happening since June 1st on continual permits. And now they have the A permits to make repairs to the sidewalks and the street. And unfortunately, we have seen that they've been using in-house labor, slave labor, to be real honest, because they get paid $50 a week, and they're working on public roads. So I'm sure the unions are not going to be too happy about that, where they're getting paid competitive wages, certified wages, and these people are not. They're basically going out there to do it for slave labor. So we need to look into that. We need to make sure the permit is being enforced. Since the other permits haven't been enforced, they were supposed to move those planters. There was a directive for them to move those planters, and they're still there. As of yesterday, they're still there. And the emergency lane is still blocked. God forbid anything happen, and I keep saying that, God forbid anything happen. I yield back my time.
Great job, Mona.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else from in person?
Me.
Okay.
Hi, I just wanted to kind of get your views. Oh,
Just
sorry.
a short reminder, we have 5 minutes for Q&A.
Okay, no, I'll be real quick. Just basically, how do you feel? Because like the community does come, there are activists, as you see tonight, that come. And are you okay with that, even if it's for or against what you believe in? What's your views on activism?
I feel that when I'm in a seat like this, I'm doing what the community wants to do. And so the more people that come in and share their opinions and tell this council what they want, what they do want, the more we can make better decisions, more informed decisions. And we're not going against what the community wants to do.
Good answer. Thank you. That's what I wanted to hear.
Okay, DOA, you're not meeting, so you're now allowed to talk.
Mr. President, thank you. I had my hand raised for the general public comment. I didn't feel like this, but I don't believe I've been called, sir.
I didn't see your hand up for general public comment. It was too late at that point. I already moved on. But we could come back to it later if you want. Okay.
Thank you, Declare Dave and chats. Declare Dave.
You got it right. I also was skipped in the public comment, but I do have a question. My question is, are you concerned with any of the abuses alleged and documented of the workers that are working for Scientology under the R1 visas?
I'm not as familiar with that topic specifically, but I'm happy to learn more about it and explore that.
Thank you.
Yes. Great job, Yvonne.
Okay, we go on to discussion and possible action on a motion to conditionally support application for a 4-unit residential project seeking ministerial approval under the Vermont Western SNAP located at 1159 N Barrendo Street. We'll go ahead.
Thank you. First of all, I want to correct Mr. Zimmerman. I'm not good with names. He just told everybody that if the developer is abiding by the city laws or city rules, that you have to approve this project, and that is not true. You do not, if you had to approve this project, you wouldn't be the neighborhood council where you're given a vote, yes or no. So please stop lying to the public. Coulter, thank you for standing up against gentrification in this community. Thank you. Okay, the mayor's program, Inside Safe, is paying $17,000 a month to house our unhoused in hotels. We need low-income housing to help, to help them get into permanent housing. We don't need, and for the person who's saying that they're not going to give a guesstimate as to how much that rent's going to be, I'm going to say that $3,000 a month is such a, well, 3-bedroom, that's going to be a low ball. I'm going to guess $4,000 to $5,000 a month. We don't need that here, okay? And, and it's ugly as anything. I mean, the only building I can say, huh?
But they can't hear you. The people on Zoom can't.
Oh my God. Okay, I'm gonna start over. Mr. Zimmerman, you just lied to this entire council. You told them that they had to approve this if that developer is following the rules. That is an absolute lie, and I hope you renege on that. Because you just advised them they have to say yes, and they do not. And then I thanked Mr. Coulter for standing up for anti-gentrification of this neighborhood. And then I spoke on Inside Safe. The mayor is spending $17,000 a month per person to put them into the unhoused into hotels. They need permanent housing. We're in a housing crisis, and but we need our unhoused permanently housed. And that this property, if it's going for market rates, a 3-bedroom brand new development is going to be probably at low ball $3,000, which is way too low. I'm going to guess $4,000 to $5,000. I'll put a number on it. I'm not afraid to. And you tell me one unhoused person that, yeah, I mean, the mayor could pay that. She's paying $17,000 a month for it, but she's not going to pay their rent once they get into a development. I also want to know if there's any ADA units, because if I'm not mistaken, you're supposed to have, federal law requires one ADA unit for units. Okay.
There's 3 other people here that also.
That's it. Thank you.
Thank
you.
Yeah, so in my experience of seeing projects like this be commissioned, it's always under the same guise of what we're beautifying. Yeah, that shit just equals gentrifying, but we're gonna make it sound nicer. So shame on you, my friend. You might use technical jargon, but I've been in this space before, and you're an absolute charlatan. And I'll tell you how much developments like this go far, right? Audit LA was definitely on the conservative side. That shit is easily $4,500 a month. What are you talking about, all right? And projects like this intentionally keep the number of units down to the threshold where they would be legally required to be affordable housing units. So shame on you, buddy, all right? Shame on you. How stupid do you think people are? Seriously, how stupid do you think people are? Come on, man. And also, the whole world is watching right now. Say hi to YouTube. Bye.
Great job, Henry.
Okay, Mona, I'm going to ask you to speak. Minute.
Thank you, council members. So I want to kind of relay that also, is that what? I don't think so. 4 or more units under federal law must abide by FHA and ADAC. We don't have enough affordable or accessible housing units now, and we're gonna have at least 1 for rental unit. That's ridiculous. And trying to go under the guise that ministerial doesn't cut it when it's 4 or more for the FHA. So nice try, but you need to have at least 1 unit, 25%. Thank you, I yield back my time.
Okay, thank you.
Great job, Mona. And Henry.
So
glad you're here.
was the other person I saw.
Can't forget the mic. It's Captain. Good evening, Captain. I want to ask you, I believe believe I may have spoken to you on the phone about the closure on L. Ron Hubbard Way and how it's barricaded on both ends, even though their permit specifically states that they must keep a 20-foot wide lane, safety lane open. They have not. They've been barricading it. I've been told, well, you know, an ambulance, maybe a small truck could inch through it, but that would take down any golden hour time if need be. And the city seems to be, it seems to be falling on deaf ears. I do hope to go to the fire commission meeting tomorrow. We had 2 earthquakes and their building is crumbling on the smokestack, a gigantic crack that keeps getting worse every time. We need the safety lanes open. Why is it closed? And have you reached out to the councilman's office? Because I talked to them and they said they haven't heard from fire, even though I know, because I did a CPR request, and I know there's been 1,800 emails to LAFD regarding this whole situation with Scientology. So I am asking you, can you please either tell me why it's not open or what you've done to try to get it open? Thank you, sir.
So, I am battalion chief coder, not captain, and I was there at the meeting last month, and I did hear your concerns about L. Ron Hubbard Way, and I said I would look into that, and I immediately went there after the meeting. When I got there, they did say they had permits, and their barriers, the planters, the giant planters, are 20 feet apart, and I am able to get my rig in there, ambulances, and get engines, and it would be a serpentine for my trucks to be within there. So I did get eyes on that to verify the safety of that. As far as the conditions of the building, that's not in my realm, or like the construction or labor or any other issues, but I do know that I can get my resources in there if there's an emergency.
A ladder truck? And without being slowed down? We demand better from you, Battalion
I
Chief.
can't hear if anybody's speaking.
I said we demand better from you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Thank you,
Yep.
Chief. Thank you for
They couldn't get a ladder truck in there. So,
your email list here.
huh? You're not gonna get a ladder truck in there.
Okay?
I said ladder truck.
Yeah, you can here.
Okay, but he would start to zigzag.
All right?
He would be slowed down.
And see a few more.
You want your fire rescue slowed down?
I want you to pound.
If a house is burning down?
All right? And Maria, I'm gonna ask you to ask for you. Go ahead. You have a minute.
Thank you, yes, hello, Battalion Chief. Just 2 questions. So, number 1, when you mentioned that you were immediately after the New York Council meeting, you drove over to LRH Way. Now, I just want to clarify for the record, did you drive through with a standard full-size fire truck to actually attempt to make it through? Or did you drive through your SUV issued vehicle and use that as the basis for how much space you had to make the judgment on whether it was actually capable of going through or not?
It would be
Okay,
slowed
thank you.
down.
Yeah, and you know, I too also like to say that I'm a gingerbread man, but it's pretty clear that you didn't use your fire truck, so thank you for stating that on the record. The other thing is,
That's it. Sorry, thank you. One question. Go ahead.
Hi, thank you for the exception. I had my hand raised and accidentally lowered it. So this is for Mark. When you drove by the big blue building, we're gonna call it, when you went around the fountain, in between Ron Hubby Lane and Catalina, did you notice, and if you did, please speak on, the large planters on the easement at the fire lanes? And is that an acceptable practice for the fire lanes to be blocked by planters that are, and I measured the tape measure up to, I think it was 3 feet with the max space in between those planters, much less between most of them. So can you just speak to the safety concerns, or why you dismiss the safety concerns of the fire lanes being blocked by planters at 3 feet or less space in front? Thank you.
Those planters are there was a children's event, and they had the streets blocked off for, there was some event that they had on the south side, so I couldn't enter from that side. They had a fair or expo, so I went around to the north side, so I can't speak to the south side.
Convenient.
Could you please drive by the south side of Fountain Avenue? There's a door entryway, there's no building, and it's blocked.
Yeah, sure.
Go ahead and answer some quickly, Mark, but that's it.
Yeah, I'll get my eyes on it. I'll check out the south side now that I think that venue was done, so I'll be able to go over there and check it out.
Okay, thank you.
Great job, Henry and Kelly. Thank
I
you.
apologize, we were in the middle of talking to you. Go ahead.
Yes, I know I need the microphone, right? So just bring one with me. Thank you. Yeah, I'm hoping I can get to your meeting tomorrow because I found out from the councilman's office that Scientology has actually been ordered to remove the planters. They're not ADA compliant, and I was told that both that they were given written warning and also that they were spoken to in person on the phone that they need to go. They're not legally allowed to be there. And I know on your bid board, that you do have an active Scientologist on the board, which, that's allowed. But if they're not in compliance with getting rid of these planters and that building's within your bid district, I have an issue with one of your board people not being compliant with the ruling of the city. And so I am hoping that these planners are gone by your meeting tomorrow, so it won't be an issue. But if it's not there, I would like to know. I'll give you time in advance to prepare as to what the timeline is for them to remove those planners, since the city did tell them they had to remove them. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. I just want to reiterate Audit LA's comments regarding the removal of the planters. I too was there when this order was issued. You are not in compliance. These planters have to go. I will be following through if your board continues to make action without reconciling the removal of the planters, which the city has deemed as illegal and needs to go. And for those that don't know, that is an official order. Scientology is still not in compliance, and this board clearly does not seem to care to be in compliance. And so it should be duly noted that those planters have to go. The city has deemed it as such, not my own words, it's not hearsay. And I just want to ask you directly, what are you planning to do to maintain compliance on removal of planters?
I've been asked this question before. The planners are not within the jurisdiction of the bid. You don't enforce planners.
Great job, Henry.
Thank you. DOA, I'd like you to unmute.
So it's my understanding that they're not dealing with the planters at all. I'm confused because there was a bunch of planters removed through Hollywood Boulevard because they weren't approved and the city wanted to get rid of them. Then the Church of Scientology puts out the planters. First they have a porta potty removed that we had there for the homeless. The city came in and had the streets and sanitation remove that, had that porta potty removed. And that within 24 hours, had those planters in place. So I just don't understand how these planters are being allowed to be there, why there's special treatment for the Church of Scientology. So thank you so much.
Great job, DOA.
Okay. Thank you. Last person, no more.
I apologize. It's not intentional. I just stuck with technology. But also I didn't have a question immediately because it's a question regarding an answer I just heard. To the gentleman in the blue shirt that just spoke, and I did not get your name. You said that it's that the plan situation is not within, I think you either said jurisdiction or bid, but regardless, it's not your mess to clean up. I hear that. Can you please tell me who is responsible for holding them accountable? Please, thank you.
I don't know.
Great job, Kelly. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, no, actually, it's great. I'll have other people, I'll let the Zoom people go first, then I'll have the people in person, but any board members have any comments on this? First,
Is there a maximum amount of time we can allocate for all public comment periods on forthcoming agenda items?
I'll have to do that from now on. So
What would you like to say?
a minute.
No, that's for each one. Total period per agenda item.
Oh, 20 minutes.
No. Let's do.
He's trying to.
Apologies.
That's not on the agenda.
When you're talking about public comment, I'm thinking presentation.
That's not on the agenda.
Yeah, 6 minutes. 6 minutes is fine.
Oh, okay. Let's see.
All right, so that'll be from now on.
Might have to do a grievance.
So, Henry, go ahead. I'll ask you to unmute.
Yes, just a point of clarification as my question pertains to neighbors who wish to file complaints such as like yours, a noise complaint. Anybody here saying that has to officially send it over to the Sacramento office instead of locally as before? Is that correct in my understanding there?
This is the way it used to be is you would contact the local office, and again, that would be a good job on that LA office. But if you go to the website, there's an official procedure now to go, and it's directed to Sacramento, and then they send it down locally. I think that's the result of what happened with Will Salau, who used to be the head of the investigation and also local office. He accepted a number of bribes, and so because of the scandal related to that, now everything goes directly to Sacramento and then back to the local.
I see. I just wanted to clarify that, so thank you for pointing that out. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. All right, you could over your hand, thank you. Go ahead.
Yes, before you start changing the rules, I would highly suggest you go get the city attorney's approval for changing rules, regardless of what I don't know what your bylaws say, and you're doing it midstream just because you want to get home early. You better talk to the city attorney. Oh, God. Yes, my suggestion is before you start making up rules midstream, that you get clarity from the city attorney and from your Dunn representative to make sure that your bylaws allow you just to, make rules and change things to try to squelch free speech and public comment. I understand you want to get home. I get it.
As long as it's applied to everyone in the meeting, it's kosher. That's the rule. That's Robert's rules.
Well, it's beyond Roberts. You also have your standing rules, you have your bylaws, and you have other, okay, I said just make sure, because to me, it sounds like you're trying to squelch free speech, because you don't want to like that a lot of people showed up today. And I'm sorry, but now as far as the letter, I want you to write that letter. I hope you do, because nobody should have to sleep in their closet to avoid noise. But we came here, how many month after month, seeking a letter as well. And thanks to Josh for breaking quorum, we were not able to get that vote. Whether you voted yes or no, it doesn't really matter. It's the fact that we wanted a chance to get the vote, and Josh left mid speeches and broke quorum. So I will continue my request and question and ask you to please continue that we want a letter as well. We just want clarification from the city as to who is responsible for the planters. We want to understand, and other clarifications about this endless permits and about the fire lanes. We want answers as well. And I think as a neighborhood council, since the public is so up in arms about it, that you could at least help us with a letter for clarification. Thank you.
Hello, thank you for allowing me to speak to this. I do have a newly formed nonprofit that is artistic in nature, and it is for recognizing and advocating for children and animals that are being abused. And if I could get that address, I would be more than happy to talk offline.
Sure, you can email me. It's my first name is Jillian, Jillian, Schultz, SCHULTZ, @easthollywood.net.
Thank you very much.
Awesome, Anna.
Okay, Tom?
Thank you. This is an advice to you in collaborating with planning a event. It is a difficult task. Expedite every possible decision you can. And that being said, I'm a little bit concerned that you talking offline back and forth as a sub-governmental unit might be in violation of the Brown Act. I hope that you can get consultation as to what those requirements are. I'm not chastising you, I'm not suggesting you're doing anything nefarious. I want to protect you and allow you to proceed helping the community. Thank you.
Great point, Yvonne. There are rules.
Henry?
Yes, thank you. I just wanted to ask for clarification. Is the motion being raised to either accept the draft proposal as is or amend it? Just wanted to see if there's a motion that's been raised yet.
There is no motion. And there's no proposal. This is sort of an open call to the community, specifically to board members who might want to spearhead this. Or formulating and submitting a plan. There is no proposal at present. Did that answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
Is there any other public comment?
Yes. All right, well, I need your microphone, please. Right? Or a microphone.
We will do this. This one working? It is.
Thank you. Yes, as you all know, I believe that, you can go to BONC, the Board of Neighborhood Commissioners. Their meeting was this morning, actually, and because I'm not going to join in conspiracy theories, but there has been over the years an erosion of the neighborhood's voice, of their budget, of their abilities, and everything else. So my suggestion to all neighborhood councils is to find your voice within the people who make the rules for you, BONC, and to please get more involved with those commission meetings and fight for the neighborhood council. I know I come here with a lot of issues, but I'm very much on your side. I'm very much on the neighborhood council system side. Thank you.
Thank you for that.
We should just talk about what came out of that previous meeting where we were asking for a lot of permits regarding L. Robert Way and the Scientology building.
Yeah, it's a pleasure on that. I'm still looking for the city to figure out who we're going to be the most effective to address the letters to the boards. We know what we want to say.
Yes.
So we're approaching the right people with the message. So it's still communication.
Yes.
Great, yeah, because I hope that
Yes,
the next meeting we can both be there and form like Voltron to take care of this so that our constituents can feel more confident.
It's about Jack.
I appreciate it. Cool. That's all I have.
Sure. Yeah.
Thank you, Jack. Actually, I appreciate you very much. You get the W today. And Josh, I think you sound like you're redeeming yourself tonight. I just want to come and ask about public safety, about the senior lead officers. You have 4 of them. I have yet to ever see any of them come. And I find it disgusting, and I am dealing with LAPD with that after them, because they need to be here and tell the community what's going on. We have a right to come and ask the senior lead officers what is going on. And so this is not, a rebuke to you. I just think that it's unfair that you guys if LAPD is not respecting this board enough to send us even one senior lead officer with how many divisions covers you? 3 divisions and not one senior lead officer can come here. I'm planning on going to the police commission meeting tomorrow morning, and I probably will bring this up, but I have been bringing this up. I'm actually, rebuking the actual senior lead officers. And I'm asking too, if you guys would please, driven from a stakeholder, to please write a letter to them and please demand the respect that the board deserves to have senior lead officers come and attend to the public. It's like they don't want to answer to the public, they don't want to hear from us, and you guys have to sit here and listen to us, even though you're trying to reduce the time. I don't appreciate that, but you hear every time, every month, you listen to us, even if you don't like what we have to say. They need to be here and to answer questions and to listen to us too. Thank you.
Thank you, we agree.
So,
Mr. Coulter.
the debate we've been having back and forth with the publics, with the senior officers.
Yes.
I think more than 4 actually, is just about whether or not we want to have them all come to this meeting because we have 3 different police divisions and so many different senior officers. We're like, okay, that's gonna take a ton of time.
Right, even just one though.
Yeah, so the Northeast Police Division captain called me and asked if I wanted him to come to the meetings. I said I was going to talk to the board about it first, so because I don't like public officials having to come if we don't have anything to talk about because it takes time. So I will invite them to come if there's something like we want to hear from them on. But I do think that the community needs a forum for people that want to come and talk to the senior officers to have that, and right now we don't have that, and so that's why we're just debating whether or not we do it through the committee, the Public Health and Safety Committee, or if we do it through the governing board meeting. But that
They should be at both. I'm sorry, this is years and years being involved in this system. They should be at both because the community, whether or not the board feels there's anything they need to talk about, they want the crime updates and they want to be able to ask. They're always very hugely popular. It doesn't mean you have to give a million, times. You don't have a whole lot of people showing up for questions. Right now you have us because, we have issues with L. Ron Hubbard right now. But it's really important to have the senior leads because people, whether it's the noise complaints or whatever, people like to have that connection because they don't get to speak to their officers, and so they can come here and do it. And that's why I really highly recommend bugging the heck out of them. And which captain did you speak to? Because I griped to one about it.
Northeast.
Do you know which one?
Yeah, Officer Hernandez.
Okay, but they have 2 captains, right? Because I think I spoke to the other one.
I think East Hollywood only has 1 for.
No, I think they have 2. I think they have 2.
So many of these tracks. I think we have 2 for Hollywood. I think we have 2 for Rampart. And I think we only have 1 for Northeast.
I mean the captains, not the senior leads. But yeah, the senior leads should be here. Yeah, they should be. One of them should be here at every single meeting. Even if they rotate, the community has it's good for the community to have them there. Yeah, and so to me, it's they're being derelict if they, so that this is a big sticking point with me.
Right. Yeah, well,
they need to be accessible.
I need to call and ask them to do that, and I haven't done that.
Okay, well, they shouldn't have to ask. They should be telling you, we need to come down and, you shouldn't have to ask. Tell them to get down here, not ask them, tell them, you need to be here. They need to be there. Yeah.
Hey, great seeing you.
Great seeing you too. I appreciate you a lot. I do. You're one of the people, you, Jack, the gentleman over there, he seems like you all seem like you care about the community for the right reasons. Yeah, and I see it.
We'll figure out the speaking time thing. People are rifting right now. We're going to have more of a serious conversation about it.
Yeah.
We're not going to do anything to prevent it.
Because what's her name is they're trying to do it at City Hall. They're trying to block protesting and stuff, and you're going to see. Did you? Yeah, and you saw how people are up in arms. I mean, we're zooming down here. You're going to have a nightmare in your hand if they're trying to restrict.
No intention of preventing public speech.
Because you understand, we're all free speech activists.
We'll figure this out at the executive board meeting.
Okay. Yeah, because I think he broke the rules there, though. I do believe because it wasn't on the agenda, so he shouldn't have been trying to change the rules midstream. But I'm a stickler with that stuff. I like the rules, being followed. But I do appreciate you, and I want to say that I've said it before, and I say it again. I do appreciate it. But I want you guys to get going on I'm glad that you're going to do the at least listen to what's going on with the city because we are at our wits' end with what's going on with this. Again, they've had closures from June 1st. Now it's all the way through October. Right. Right, and plus now they have construction permits on top of it, too, for the street and the sidewalk. At the same time, they're having these public events. So how does that work? Are we doing construction? Are we doing public events? Because they're both being given at the same time. And that's beyond abnormal. It's a de facto street, vacation, which gives them a private street, even though the public can go through. There's a complaint now too because they use their security, not their security. They have third-party security to harass anybody that goes through, even though they're legally allowed to go through. The permit does not restrict pedestrians. You are? Okay, so thank you, Coulter. I have you on record, right? You're gonna get to the bottom of it. Okay, guys, there we go. We got Coulter. Gonna see him eventually one day. He's gonna run for city council because he's got real heart. I believe that. Everything I've seen with him and Jack too. Hi. I really like what you're having to say too. Sorry, I film everything. You sound like you're really involved, wanting to get involved with the community. I hear you like you're having a lot of it. You're saying like back and forth with community people. I love that. Thank you. Yeah, we need people who are in it for the right reasons. I congratulate you for being the new one. And if you're into human rights, we have a few of us I would really, I don't know what committee you're going to be on, but we're having some serious human rights issues with the Scientology, their workforce. Because I don't know if you're familiar with the Sea Org. These people have to work, it's their highest level of ministry, and they have to work, they sign a billion-year contract. They work 110 hours a week for $47 a week. And they're having them work, if they're working on their properties, it's a volunteer, that's fine. But once they start working on streets, which they are, because they have a permit to fix the streets, they are by law required to pay everybody the correct wages. And as far as we know, they are not. So we're going to be here, begging for help to find out to make sure these people are paid correctly. Nobody, because with the acting, they have studios, and they were forced to give their Sea Org members full union wages when they work now on the movies and videos. So that battle was won for those workers, but we want to win the battle for the workers that are doing the public works thing. So there you go. Have you seen Going Clear at least? Okay, so there you go. So you have a beginning. Okay, because we're here. It's but right now they have such a grip on our city, and that's what is the corruption. Like I go to all these meetings now, I didn't realize how corrupt the city is. It's beyond corrupt at this point with public works and every different division. So that's what we're fighting right now. But so that's why we're coming to the ones that are affected by big, for you guys, Big Blue. So we're gonna be here bugging you, and. Thank you. See, let's congratulate her. She's going to do, and you, like both of you. What's your name? Mike and Kat. Okay, I'm Joe. I go by Audit LA. Great to meet you. And so we're going to come back, guys. And I have my, we had 200 people watching this whole entire meeting. 2 hours in, it held 200 people. So people are invested. They want to know what's going on. Audit LA. Yeah, you can find. I'm on YouTube and I'm on TikTok, right now. A little bit on Twitter, not too much. But yeah, we're fighting for these. Well, hopefully it stays with YouTube. But thank you, congratulations. Okay, all right, have a good night.